Today, I would like to address a toxic wise saying that has been used across different societies to propagate and reinforce toxic masculinity while forcing women to accept toxic masculinity as the norm. And one of such statements is the notion of boys will be boys. So you see a little boy in school or wherever tugging a girl's hair or hitting a girl, and the girl runs to go and complain, and somebody will be like, boys will be boys, just let him be. So basically, when you hear the statement boys will be boys, just know that there is a poor choice that a boy somewhere is making. It could be aggression, it could be bad behavior, inappropriate behavior, rule breaking. But when that statement is made, it means this boy has done this, but we are not about to give him any consequence for his actions. But that in itself is a problem, because anybody that has studied, human behavior will understand that behaviors are reinforced or discouraged through punishment or through reward. So if someone does something that is good, something that is positive, something that is accepted in society, that person is rewarded. But if the person does something that is negative, something that is not accepted within society, that's punished. That behavior will be punished. So when we keep saying boys will be boys, when a boy is being unruly, will not listen, is being, bullying people around and all that, and we say boys will be boys, we are just saying it is okay, go ahead and keep doing it. But the point is this: if we say boys will be boys, but when we girls do stuff, nobody ever says girls will be girls, then that's a problem. Because if whatever the boys are doing at that tender age and they're not being punished is okay, why is it that when girls do the same things, the girl will be, sanctioned, penalized for that? And don't you know you're a girl? Don't you know you are a girl? Can you see the double standard? We need to take care of this. And the sad thing is this: because a lot of us children grow up in the care of our mothers, and because our mothers grew up with these things being drilled into their brains, they end up growing up and becoming mothers, and they pass on that narrative to their daughters. They're like, don't you know you are a girl? But the same thing that a girl does and she's in trouble, boys will do it and get away with it. And why do we now think that at some point, when they now grow up into adults, that they will mature and know what is right to do and do it? Have we not also heard the statement that you don't learn how to use your left hand in old age? So when we come up today and we're complaining about toxic masculinity, boys just do what they see men doing, or those boys that will be boys, just grow up into men. And when they grow into men, you just see an elevated or aggravated level of what they used to do as boys, and we would laugh it off. Do you understand what I'm talking about now? The fact that they did it back in those days and people even laughed and said, oh, it's just a silly boy. And then he grows up and you're trying to tell him that that is not okay. That is why a lot of men get really upset. They get mad. Why are you telling me I did anything wrong? What do you mean? I was even praised. I was rewarded with laughter, with, forget about it. There was no consequence for what I did. Why do you know what, when I was a child? Why is it now that in my adulthood, in my full maturity, you want to punish me for the things I did and got away with it? That's not okay. I am a man. Nobody has any right to punish me. Nobody has any right to hold me accountable. And another outcome of this constant use of the statement boys will be boys is that it normalizes what's it called, like aggression and all manner of vices as the norm. Like it makes it like the fundamentals of being a man is if you have a lot of vices. The more you have, the more vices, the better. That is why when you see a man that refuses to behave like other men, let's say maybe the man was brought up as a child in a home where maybe there is mutual respect in the family between the father and the mother, or even maybe in a single parent home where maybe the mom was there, or even if not a single parent home, but a home where the mom was always there, the mom is always teaching them, good values and all that. You will see a man that is like that. He's kind, he's respectful, he's compassionate. A lot of men will laugh at him and call him effeminate and soft. But when you see a man that is rough and haggard and, he will do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, he does not care. That they say, that's the man, my G, he's the OG. Until we come to a place where we begin to look deeply to find the root of what's going on, what is crying out in the streets, where did it start from, we will not be able to make a headway. So why I'm making this video is not to tell men, oh, men, you need to change. I don't really have anything to say to men. I am just talking to women who are looking at, themselves, and they're like, how did we get here? How can we come out from here? How can I raise my sons different? The truth is this: you could raise your son in any way you want as a woman, but at the end of it all, if that child grows up and sees that toxicity is the norm, they are still going to subscribe to that because nobody wants to be called effeminate when they are a man, right? But this is something we will keep teaching. It's one thing for us to teach, and we also teach our daughters not to accept that statement that boys will be boys. We hold our sons accountable. We also teach our daughters to hold them accountable and place boundaries. Don't just allow them to say, okay, that's my brother. Our boys will be boys. No, we hold the men in our lives accountable, and our daughters will also learn to hold these people accountable and to put boundaries. So even if you hold them accountable and they choose not to step up and take responsibility, then you don't get access. You do not get access. So until we teach our daughters to put boundaries, firm boundaries that cannot be moved, then those who have chosen toxicity as the norm will not be in a place to say, we need to make those changes. And I see a lot of women today standing up and saying, we're not going to take this anymore. And a lot of the men are out crying. But if we really want a change, it's not about what others think. It's about think about yourself as a woman. What is it that is right for you? What works for you? It's time for us to dismantle these wise sayings that are actually not wise, that are actually toxic. The fact that a lie has been repeated for generations and for generations doesn't make it right. It is time for us to correct those narratives. So boys will not be boys. Boys are humans, and if they are trained in the right way, if you teach them to take responsibility, if there are consequences for action, and if there are rewards for good choices, then over time they will learn to choose better. And if they choose not to, then our daughters already have the training. That is what our target should be. Train them to limit access or to cut off access.